I be in a loop, she be in a group. Brody want a friend, throwing alley-oop. Turn something to nothing, bro, I'm living proof. How can I lose when we the who's? Still running around with more shit ready, packed to go, yard. People probably think I show up, I ain't even give it yet. Running up a silly chick, staying out the internet. Share the stage with Billie Eilish, turn it any given time. Personal partners, pillow talking, cause I got rich without them. Only thing they should be saying is, baby, keep it silent. We ain't even deep as we used to be, this shit slick divided. Bro ain't got no hustle or nothing, so he gon' stick to violence. I be knowing the rundown, I'm doubting, so I can't speak about it. She know I'm a gangster, she love me, I bring the freak about it. Can't play with me, you know I come trim. I'm in a different league, I'm tired of showing what I can get done. What you gon' do for me? 40,000 miles up in the air, only time I get some Z's. Full court press foot on they neck, and I can't let them breathe. Blood, sweat, and tears come with this check, it ain't nowhere near easy. Had to fall back, you know how that go, we only speaking briefly. Hope I'm not too much to handle. City nigga from Atlanta, I spent my last check on ammo. This is not a regular Lambo. $100,000 kit, could've put down on another Lambo. Don't be in the mix, I built this shit forever, have it say so. This shit gon' get serious about my money, this ain't no fucking Play-Doh. Wrote it down for double homicide, I try to tell him lay low. C don't like to drive, but he spent good, I'm on the way to Clayco. AK-47s in the spots before they made the Draco. I'm just tryna ball and live, 100 mil on calling deals. I'm the boss, pay all the bills, I'm the golden child for real. Go off in this bitch, I will. I've been on my grind for years, and I'm out here grinding still. I need equity to sign a deal. I'm just tryna ball and live, 100 mil on calling deals. I'm the boss, pay all the bills, I'm the golden child for real. Go off in this bitch, I will. I've been on my grind for years, and I'm out here grinding still. I need equity to sign a deal. Over buying cars, I snatched the barbers just for motivation. Shoot out at the spot today, tomorrow we at a new location. Free all of the guys, I hope y'all beat the case to get probation. Stashed at my mama house, 400 bands in the ventilation. Now look how I'm living, I bought a house for the money to stay at. Right when niggas think that I got soft, I'ma pull up and spray it. Living like a dumb, I smoke a blunt in the back of the Maybach. Pull up like your mama with this switch, why the fuck would you say that? You could do it first, I'ma do it worse, gotta double the payback. Never take it personal, show no mercy, bro taught me that way back. Kano took it off, I was always taught, don't take hoes where you stay at. Keep a stash house, you can't take none to the spot where you lay at. Never be a bother, if you off me, no problem, just say that. Never running off, so if I owe you, I got you, I pay that. Get this shit my all, so when I'm old, I can chill and just lay back. Really from the bottom, so the trenches is where I feel safe at. I'm just tryna ball and live, 100 mil on calling deals. I'm the boss, pay all the bills, I'm the golden child for real. Go off in this bitch, I will. I've been on my grind for years, and I'm out here grinding still. I need equity to sign a deal. I'm just tryna ball and live, 100 mil on calling deals. I'm the boss, pay all the bills, I'm the golden child for real. Go off in this bitch, I will. I've been on my grind for years, and I'm out here grinding still. I need equity to sign a deal. A love letter came through the mail, it said I miss you. I ripped it up and flushed with the tissue, try to forget you. I ain't got nothing against you, we human, we all got issues. But I'm tired of being tired. That part of me done died. I see it, then I don't act like I'm blind. I'm confident it won't be one of mine. I know emotions come with lies, so I tell the truth all the time. Ain't got no sympathy for no bitch. I admit that I'm rich and I'm lit. Jumping up on stages, I get 200 occasions. Bro, ain't really for the game, or we make niggas shut they trap down. They see how I made it, I'm the reason they won't rap now. See me out in traffic, make a hater pull his hat down. The biggest OG salute me, a stylist can't even style me. The robbers probably wanna get me on mopping out Lamborghinis. The Yankees turn in my city, they try me, I get it cracking. Some of this still would happen if I never started rapping. My people them steady trapping and they still be getting active. I tell them to chill, I'm trying to run up these M's. Pay cash and then he post the crib. I can't show nobody where my mama live, that's how I supposed to feel. My niece just asked me what my diamonds real, I said of course. I just played the hand that I was dealt, they had the force. All around the world they know it's me, they hear my voice. And I done it all in a pair of Dior's, yeah. Young age, learn how to get paid. Big stage, long way from Section 8. Big wave, he gon' have to get saved. Riding on foreign, she fin on the forest. I know I went there for you, at least I said I'm sorry. You know what it was, I told you that I was hardest. I'm emotionally scarred, that ain't even your fault. But don't listen to them haters tryna feel you here with salt. All this revenue coming in, I probably never spend. I just bought my BM a Benz, now that's another Benz. I just cut off all of my friends and brought my brothers in. I don't see nobody but me, who I'm gon' lose to. I can't move around without tools. These pussy blue. If I get one, you get one too. I really move how bosses move. I never call myself a goat. I leave that up to the people. Everybody can't go to the top. I had to leave some people. I'ma be forever scheming. Woke up, I thought I was dreaming. Watch my little boy play with toys. I just dropped the tear joy. Some shit that I feel for. I've been going crazy with the scoring. Call me baby hard. They say I'll be great. I guess I'm waiting for it. Young age, learn how to get paid. Big stage, long way from session A. Big wave, he gon' have to get saved. Riding in the foreign, she been on the forest. I know I went there for you, at least I said I'm sorry. You know what it was, I told you that I was hardest. I'm emotionally scarred, that ain't even your fault. But don't listen to them haters tryna fill you here with salt. Young age, learn how to get paid. Big stage, long way from session A. Big wave, he gon' have to get saved. Riding in the foreign, she been on the forest. I know I went there for you, at least I said I'm sorry. You know what it was, I told you that I was hardest. I'm emotionally scarred, that ain't even your fault. But don't listen to them haters tryna fill you here with salt.
Press enter to enable the narrator.
Yeah, made it out the trenches, this type of life I can't get used to. Number one on YouTube, private dinner in Malibu. Show you how to work your stick, ain't nobody gon' handle you. Put you in a phantom, cause you my little boo. Ready for whatever, I tie up my boots. Everybody going the same route, so I switched on my route. Niggas ain't what they be talking about, so I switched on my crew. Acting like you love me, knowing this flaw, so I'm gon' fake it too. What else am I supposed to do? Aware of my surroundings, don't fuck with y'all, don't come around me. Baby switched up, how that sound? Like a nigga in this feelings. You can't name something I did flaw, I'm a dying breed of the realest. Ain't never worried about another nigga, so in that case I'm the biggest. I've been traveling around the world, my pivot still ain't left the business. She got everything I want, ain't no need to fuck with these bitches. You can go and have a little fun, ain't gon' trip, baby, I get it. Ain't bullshit in this game, wherever this plane land, I'm the littest nigga there. Turn your back on me, I ain't even care. If you need me, I'm still gon' be there. Tell me how the fuck is this shit fair? Switch on who? I went there, fuck them too, I'm prepared. I run shit, get that clear. Heart broke, can't drop no tears. Was what it was, it is what it is. California breeze, take her out to eat. Stop at a little party, end up at the big house. I can't fuck with Shawty, cause she got a big mouth. Put up in a Rari, hop out like a big dog. Get my shit together, feel like I done took 2 years off. Booking on my schedule, I ain't rich enough to chill out. I watch you turn sour, I still don't know how to feel about it. Majority unfolded, but I'm still solid. I'm still out here, still don't know how to feel about it. Early in the morning, talking to Marquise about it. Wondering, should I let it go or we beefing about it? Knowing that I go cold on you for weeks about it. And it wasn't even that deep, but that's just how it be with me. I can't lie, she be fucking me good, but girl, you fuck me better. I'm not surprised that you stereotype me to be a little guy. But if I can have a second of your time, try to elevate your mind, we can crush them on every level. I'm telling you, I fell in love with generating revenue. I know they gon' try to push you from the top, so I'm careful. I put niggas under my wing like they my nephew. I'ma give you every piece of game I got when I catch you. I'm just tryna let you feel the breeze with me. California breeze, take her out to eat. Stop at a little party, end up at the big house. I can't fuck with Shawty, cause she got a big mouth. Put up in a Rari, hop out like a big dog. Get my shit together, feel like I done took 2 years off. Booking on my schedule, I ain't rich enough to chill out. I watch you turn sour, I still don't know how to feel about it. Majority unfolded, but I'm still solid. No, I'm supposed to be gone, but she where I'm gon' go. Tryna hold it in, I can't let this shit show. It can't be forced, it don't work, let it go. I try to tell you, you act like you know.
Dial up the heat this spring with Peloton.
Peloton, how we feeling out there tonight?
Whether you've got 30 or 60 minutes,
Start to pick up your pace.
or a full body strength class or marathon training,
Get right back into your run.
our expert coaches and challenging classes will push you to a new level of strength and endurance like never before.
I need you to feel unstoppable.
Get your head start on summer with Peloton and choose a payment plan that works for you. Visit onepeloton.ca/finance. Terms apply.
What's happening, TT? Fill the band up with bags, get a little bro them a job. You can come get rich with us, you gon' eat or you gon' starve. Keep it certified, here to sin, I pay them not to rob. Pop out 2020 color, and I'm riding in the stars. Know some people hate that I'm on top, I bulletproof the car. All the members make free bands, our packs look like they cracking cards. Juno for a fact, I keep it real, he still ain't can't play with my creation, give the world to my little boys. I've been saving more than I've been spending, that's what I be on. I'm a human, I'm not perfect, I know sometimes I be wrong. I'm like, come and put that pussy on me, don't be running from me. If I like it, I spend money on it, get whatever from me. Put 6 figures in your business, I do real shit. I drop cash at the dealership, they'll mail your pink slip. She make sure she keep her nails did and her wig fixed. Went to jail and that way held me down. She a real bitch, 100 rounds in a double drum. This a kill tech. Marco been in prison for a while, but he still flex. I told Brody them to park the car, but they still wreck. I don't think nobody around still, but I still check. I don't got 100 mil yet, I can't chill yet, but don't get it misconstrued yet. I get real checks, baby fucking like a porn star. We have real sex, have nobody in our business. We take lyric checks, say she like when I perform, so I fuck her with my chains on and she handle her part, so I let her play the main role. Ain't had to get rich for these partners, still with the same folks, and I can't beef with none of you niggas not in the same boat. Never gon' get caught up about it, know how the game go. 10 chain bustin' look like rainbows. I'm like, come and put that pussy on me, don't be running from me. If I like it, I spend money on it, get whatever from me. Put 6 figures in your business, I do real shit. I drop cash at the dealership, they'll mail your pink slip. She make sure she keep her nails did and her wig fixed. Went to jail and that way held me down. She a real bitch, 100 rounds in a double drum. This a kill tech. Marco been in prison for a while, but he still flex. I'm like, come and put that pussy on me, don't be running from me. If I like it, I spend money on it, get whatever from me.
Shit, Snake just straight cooked the motherfucker.
I've been thinking to myself lately, wonder did she mean it when she say she hate me? Or wonder did she mean it when she say she wish she didn't keep the baby? Told Solid to speed it up, you ain't driving Miss Daisy. Rolls Royce truck plus, yeah, you driving little baby. Hit from the back and grab her neck, you be driving her crazy. Ain't worked no job since we met, I'm the reason she lazy. I got some checks and I ain't touched, they for Loyal and Jason. Really wanna have a daughter just so I can spoil her. Maybe look at women different. Father God, forgive me, I'm be sinning for a minute. We bought sticks when it was tension. Fuck that bitch, she want attention. She get famous if I mention. Ain't gon' say her name at all. I was just sitting in prison, damn near living like a dog. I remember that shit vividly. I do this shit for y'all. I'm not looking for no sympathy, won't cry about no loss. I got demons all on my back and arms, I'm trying to shake them off. I can't never fuck with Lil Mill again, he try to take me out. I can't lie, you was my dog, I heard that shit, it broke my heart. Can't no nigga say I did some flaw, been solid from the start. Every situation never happened, baby play this part. I ain't never did shit to brag about it, I do that shit with honors. In my bag, but I been laying back, I'm turning up this summer. Guess you mad cause I been having telling hoes I was a runner. If I was the richest runner in Georgia on my mama. And I ain't never been no worker, had my own number. Ask bro, 7 summers straight, we went crazy, call that good luck. I been keeping my distance, I switched up my number. I done made all these millions, I'm keeping my hunger. All this food in the big house, my stomach still rumble. Got the ball, I want from her, I just touched down, stay humble. I been keeping my distance, I switched up my number. I done made all these millions, I'm keeping my hunger. All this food in the big house, my stomach still rumble. Got the ball, I want from her, I just touched down, stay humble. Yeah. Thinking about that shit you said, I can't get it out my head. I know that my heart is black, so all my cars inside is red. I don't wanna argue with no one, let's get this guap instead. I ain't tryna beef with none of these niggas, cause all my ops is dead. If you ever run into police, you better not tell. Turn it up, I might as well. You know I'm so 4PF. Before I go, I gotta say what's up to all the bros in jail. I know that they be listening, I know that he'll be with me. And his lawyer cost 160, I hope they unconvicted when he go back. Follow him with a low jack, then step on him like a dope mat. Do it there, can't go back. My mind straight, ain't no slacking. Guns all in Renee house, she in front of hood if you don't know Mac. I been keeping my distance, I switched up my number. I done made all these millions, I'm keeping my hunger. All this food in the big house, my stomach still rumble. Got the ball, I want from her, I just touched down, stay humble. I been keeping my distance, I switched up my number. I done made all these millions, I'm keeping my hunger. All this food in the big house, my stomach still rumble. Got the ball, I want from her, I just touched down, stay humble. Yeah. again. Big body bends, cut off all my friends. Choppers for my enemies. Going at the streets about Lil Dominique, I been a beast. Really got my name from shooting dice and selling niggas weed. 557 223s. 308s go through a car door. All the houses paid off. None of my hoes ain't got no car note. Sell 1,000 string free Rollo. Baby, you should stop it, I know. Everything's a profit for sure. Pilot waiting on us, let's go. Still be in the project with cold harder than Cuba. Wreck the Rari, buy a new one tomorrow. I'm too raw. I got foreigns all colors like a pack of Starburst. When they ask me how it happened, I just tell them God work. I'm trying to touch me a Billy, still hustle like I'm on zero. Really didn't say some niggas, that's why they call me the hero. Trapping like this shit legal, I'm trying to uplift my people. I used to serve in the Regal, I turn them into believers, yeah. I don't want your bitch, we can't swap out. They ain't no shit, tell them to pop out. Mama, I got rich, look at your drop out. Guns up, it ain't nothing to talk about. Outside of your city looking good. It's a Draco, call it wish a nigga would. It got wood on it. And she think that she special, but I'm good on her. Handle business like I'm poster. Everything I say, I stood on it. Outside of your city looking good. It's a Draco, call it wish a nigga would. It got wood on it. And she think that she special, but I'm good on her. Handle business like I'm poster. Everything I say, I stood on. My life really a miracle. My bitches said I'm magical. I still for a little critical. I ran through more than half of them. I put on for that avenue. I had to bust my ass for this. How a bitch you never even met me gon' try to tell my business. How someone I only had sex once, we gon' try to have a kid by me. Once you cross that line, you dead. Really, that's how it is with me. Brody got rich off of Percy, sell 25 a piece. My little scamming ass bitch made $250,000 in a week. I ain't never thirsty, running to a hoe and don't even speak. Got that blick on me in public, hope they think it's only me. This shit different, they gotta go do my assistant just to reach me. If nobody else gon' show them, I'll teach them. Outside of your city looking good. It's a Draco, call it wish a nigga would. It got wood on it. And she think that she special, but I'm good on her. Handle business like I'm poster. Everything I say, I stood on it. Outside of your city looking good. It's a Draco, call it wish a nigga would. It got wood on it. And she think that she special, but I'm good on her. Handle business like I'm poster. Everything I say, I stood on it. Then I murder. Call gunner if you want you a burger. Oh baby, you be lying in your verses. I be here and say you buying them purses. I can't even lie, you ain't my type. You ain't even know that fine in person. I can guarantee you if you my kind, she got every bag you can imagine. Big house, I can really be bragging. 100,000 in my mouth like what's happening. Not the big cheap tea that's embarrassing. He ain't me, you can keep the comparison. My bitch probably one of the baddest. Good girl, turning into a savage. This bitch got a problem in traffic. We can't do it, matching G-Wagon. Low key, I been keeping it classy. Could be really out here doing them nasty. Niggas couldn't even see me in last year. Just started and them niggas in asking. I ain't even tried to and I passed them. Giving looks, I contribute to fashion. Drop a song, I be giving them caps. Stand alone, not your regular rapper. Brand new car is noisy. Come through and it's roaring. You ain't gotta worry, don't care about your boyfriend. See me and get nervous, I damn near did it perfect. Work hard and determined, it's safe to say I earned it. Whoa, yeah. None of you guys can flash me. Whoa. Matter of fact, none of you guys get high as me. Whoa. Post my drip up daily just so they can see. Whoa. Turn me up some more so my haters can hear. Whoa. I put it dope in the back of the car and I tell her to go. She hit when she land, she bring the band, she back on the road. She know how I get when I get in that mode. Ain't fucking with bitches, ain't buying no clothes. Only do shows and make me some songs. Make sure that other shit come and get sold. We fuck with the scribbles cause we play with poles. We play with our money and not with our nose. I used to go to the west to get lows. I just came back from the west with a trophy. I'm on some more shit. She said she missed it and sending emojis. No time to kick it on my waist in motion. Can't say I miss you, I don't got emotions. I'm on that back when I step on the flow shit. I'm on that me and the broken Kadosh shit. I'm on that back when I stood at the stove shit. Ain't going broke, I'm just back on my old shit. I'm taking drugs, I don't know how to cope it. I know one thing, I'm never gonna be hopeless. If you tell them what was said, you were rodent. Drive a new Corvette like you stolen, yeah. Brand new car is noisy. Come through and it's roaring. You ain't gotta worry, don't care about your boyfriend. See me and get nervous, I damn near did it perfect. Work hard and determined, it's safe to say I earned it. Whoa, yeah. None of you guys can flash me. Whoa. Matter of fact, none of you guys can hide me. Whoa. Post my drip up daily just so they can see. Whoa. Turn me up some more so my haters can hear. Brand new car is noisy. Come through and it's roaring. You ain't gotta worry, don't care about your boyfriend. See me and did it perfect. Work hard and determined, it's safe to say I earned it. Whoa, yeah. None of you guys can flash me. Whoa. Matter of fact, none of you guys can hide me. Whoa. Post my drip up daily just so they can see. Whoa. Turn me up some more so my haters can hear. Whoa. These ain't no guest jeans. I dropped out of school, I'm still getting mad, but nigga don't test me. I play to the left, they went to the right, they try to finesse me. Still running around with that blicky, I hope they don't catch me. Police had raided that spot, so we went to the next street. Play like I'm dumb, as soon as it pop, I'm going retarded. He say I'm hard and he say I'm garbage, I'm rich regardless. We in Miami in the middle of the winter and we on them jet skis. If we in Atlanta, I'm running and catting, I'm working the red.
I cannot mention my homies inside of my song cause I know they be trapping a lot. I can't keep taking these pills when I'm in the trenches, they say I be capping a lot. I know a nigga who said he got rich off the dope, but I know he be acting a lot. I know some niggas who said that they took down the city, but niggas be lacking a lot. Yeah, that shit was our food, nigga had that dog food. That day they shot you, I slid on the mongoose. You could not come back around me, you turned your back on me, I cannot forget. The police was lying, they said that they caught you, but nigga, they made you admit. Your name was fine, you put in that work, they took your stick, you a bitch. Fuck my ops, they be on my dick, they all be mad, we rich. Turn up.
Under 25, living like a boss, lying around with a chauffeur. I don't sell drugs, still be paranoid, keep looking over my shoulder. Niggas lying like I'm stealing swag, but it's my shit like I wrote it.
These rappers really nice as hell, I'm a different nigga when I'm pissed off. Many say he gon' press up on who? I'ma get to steal like I'm Chris Paul. Back-to-back Suburbans, I'm a big dog. I was in the slum serving fentanyl. Zombie land junkies having withdrawals. I've been getting to it, a lot of missed calls. Turn it off, what the fuck is he talking about? I should slap you for saying he hot as me. I don't know who could fuck with me, honestly. They know I'm the man, so they watching me. Different color bands like Monopoly. Man, he must not be using his hair. If he thinking I don't keep a Glock with me, that's like suicide. If you play with us, got a better chance at the lottery. Call an ambulance when that chopper sweet. Make the crowd dance, choreography. Once I got a plan, ain't no stopping me. 3-car garage, $1 million crib with a foreign bitch riding on top of me. A lot of people done said I want be shit. Well, I guess they owe me an apology.
These ain't no guest jeans. I dropped out of school, I'm still getting mad, but nigga don't test me. I play to the left, they went to the right, they try to finesse me. Still running around with that blicky, I hope they don't catch me. Police had raided that spot, so we went to the next street. Play like I'm dumb, as soon as it pop, I'm going retarded. He say I'm hard and he say I'm garbage, I'm rich regardless. We in Miami in the middle of the winter and we on them jet skis. If we in Atlanta, I'm running and catting, I'm working the red key.
ATL Jacob.
Slide my Rolls Royce through the hood, that shit look good like right on. Get your own salon, your hair done when you want from now on. Tell the police I don't do nothing, I've been selling these songs. Ain't put no cap inside my rap, ain't too much leading you on. My little youngin' ready to slide, he listen to Shiesty all day. Everybody in the supercharge, I know we getting away. She want me to come inside of who? I nutted in her face. I don't like to go too many places, I run shit in the A. Get a hotel for a year straight, ain't no pull up where I stay. I know bitches who set niggas up, yeah. I know niggas who let bitches too, yeah. I been in 100 million moves, life is real, let her pop a pill, she enjoyed herself. Bad bitch, put them in the ring, they go below the belt, no referee. Ain't no stopping me, I'm trying to take it down. The only problems I'm having in life is with watch, I'm well. I grew up on that taking shit, I don't know how to steal, I ain't with all that fake shit. I'd rather keep it real, you mad at me about a bitch who fucking both of us. I went and ran my money up, I swear it's over for him. I done gave my feelings up, I don't know who to trust. She coming up missing at the spot, I don't know who to bust. She my gangster bitch, I gave her racks and told her stash that. Love it when you throw it back like, damn, you know that ass fat. You know I'm a blast back, you know I'm way past that. So why you acting like it's something that it wasn't? She know how to make me mad, I swear this bitch push every button. I know how to run up cash, I swear I'm getting mortgage. I put 26s on my color, none that country shit. Building on my audience, I'm all in other countries with it. Maxing out my debit cards in 1 star. Take a pretty girl and give her what she want. I'm just having fun. Catch me cutting up in that ZR1. This the fast kind. I done got my shit together. I'm way better than last time. Yeah. Slide my Rolls Royce through the hood. That shit look good like right on. Get your own salon. Your hair done when you want from now on. Tell the police I don't do nothing. I've been selling these songs. Ain't put no cap inside my rap. Ain't too much leading you on. Slide my Rolls Royce through the hood. That shit look good like right on. Get your own salon. Your hair done when you want from now on. Tell the police I don't do nothing. I've been selling these songs. Ain't put no cap inside my rap. Ain't too much leading you on.
Tap into your power this spring with Peloton.
Peloton, how we feeling out there tonight?
From Pilates to hit rides.
Start to pick up your pace.
Whether you've got 10 minutes or an hour.
You ready? I'm your coach. I'm in your corner.
We've got everything you need for you to give everything you've got.
Give yourself it, everybody. Hit this ride some love.
Get your head start on summer with Peloton and choose a payment plan that works for you. Visit onepeloton.ca/financing. Terms apply.
Number 1, my girl Yinlin. Look. At that design. Fiery red hair, beautiful outfit design. What is there not to love about the appearance, number 1, of this character? What stands out to me about her the most is her story. Her attacks are visually stunning. So much of that Electra just going out, lightning strikes from the sky. She's so acrobatic in how she moves too. Are you ready for it? Character number 2 I want to talk about is gonna be my girl Encore. She is adorable. That thing looks demonic though. She's a fusion type character. Her running animation's so cute with like the arms up behind her. Let's see what her combat looks like. I actually haven't tried it myself yet. We're gonna try the combat out on these unsuspecting billy goats. Come here. Look like I'm ready for this. Oh my god! Why is he on a motorcycle? Okay, hold on. Let me tell you something. All right, let's see what my special ability looks like. She made like a little growl face. And I get these like barrage of sights. She goes in like sicko mode. Okay, that burst is insane. I like that burst. Here we go, one more time. Grr. And just the barrage of damage. Look at that, just like that, we got it. You can get these characters and so many others for yourself by downloading right now. Don't forget, 108 free draws. So if you want to look at Yinlin Burst all day like I do, download Wuthering Waves today.
I've traveled all the way to the country of Cambodia, and here, in order to hire a chef, it costs only $1.
Today we're in the coastal province of Kep, taking on this country's shockingly affordable seafood.
How is it possible to cook food for $1?
But by the end of this video, we'll also try seafood prepared by Kep's most expensive chef.
If we're paying, you know, $30, $40, maybe $100 for a chef.
Maybe I charge you $180.
Ooh, I'm not sure that they can do 100 times better than what we see here.
Our mission begins with a quick breakfast in the seaside crab market, where a local vendor is making up some fish pancakes. First, the meticulous task of deboning these tiny fish. And if you're gonna live in Kep, then seafood handling skills like these are a must.
So Kep was actually back in the early 20th century, a place where the French elites and the Cambodian elites would actually come and vacation here because of the beautiful, pristine beaches. So after the Khmer Rouge, it sort of died off a bit, but recently it's been gaining popularity again. Here you'll find a lot of local Khmer people coming not only to hang out at the ocean, but also to come to the Kep crab market, which is renowned for its fresh seafood.
Under the force of steady, sharp blades, the fish fillets turn into a fish paste. getting ready for some seasoning.
This is actually called pahatrai, which means minced fish. They mash it up and they mix it with krung. This is probably one of the most popular fish treats or fish foods.
The flavorful fish paste is shaped into flat discs. Then bubbling oil turns them into appealing golden fish cakes.
It's interesting because that fish they start out with, very tiny. And I believe they fry those, but you know, it's gonna be a lot of bones. This is a way to get the most oomph out of such a small, bony fish.
That's right.
The flavor is almost kind of meaty. It's not especially fishy at all.
No, you don't taste the fish at all. It's actually got kind of a slightly sweet and a little bit salty, not too salty, and then a little bit of tiny spice to it.
I like it. Is this something that people would usually snack on alone?
No, typically this is eaten with rice. I wouldn't consider this a breakfast food. No, this is more something you would eat for lunch or dinner.
Savvy is a Khmer American vlogger who brings Cambodian cuisine closer to the world through his YouTube channel. By the end of today, he and I will get a taste of Kep's most valued treasure, the blue crab. And I'm talking a lot of them. But before that, there's much more to discover at this seafood market.
One thing that's really special about this place is the fact that you can buy raw seafood and someone will cook it up for you for very little amounts of money. To get a meal cooked is as cheap as $1. Our next move from here is to tour the market, take a look at what they have to offer, find some raw food, and have it cooked up by a local.
Okay.
Inside the seafood market, you will not find exotic sea creatures imported from all corners of the globe. But what you will find is 100% locally caught, and that's why it's so cheap. The seafood cooking options are many. Stingray, crabs, both big and absolutely tiny, snails and blood cockles, and fish of all shapes and sizes. They also have some of the biggest shrimp I've ever seen.
They're like this big. That part, right there.
Some say they even taste like lobster.
Are these Cambodian shrimp special?
Yes, those come from the deep ocean, so they're much tastier. They're sweeter and more plump and bigger.
These are jumbo tiger prawns, inhabitants of the Indo-Pacific Ocean, known for their potential to grow up to 1 foot in length. Chef P here is about to turn them into a mouth-watering dish, and she'll perform this feat for only $1. Soon we'll discover how she manages to turn a profit at such a remarkably low price.
$1 is not a lot of cash, so how many meals are you able to crank out in one day?
She begins by cleaning the prawns, removing their heads and deveining them too. Next, she expertly stir-fries them with oil and garlic until the meat is perfectly firm. She adds a touch of ground pepper, her secret sauce, and she finishes with a handful of spring onions.
Oh man, this one's so big.
So I typically will rip the head off. There's like a lot of good stuff in there. Oh yeah, all that head fat.
That's pleasurable. The head is full of that head butter. It's a very rich flavor that comes from that melted down tamale, the organs that are inside the head. This one had a fat head. If I was a shrimp, oh man, there'd be a lot of head fat.
Then we move on to the body.
Oh my gosh.
But before that bite, a quick word from the sponsor of this video, BetterHelp.
Ah, the daily grind. Chasing deadlines, juggling responsibilities, and just trying to keep it all together. I've been there. But here's the thing. It is precisely during these times that having solid support is a non-negotiable. Taking care of your mental health and having regular check-ins. That is the secret weapon for tackling whatever life throws at you. And now, taking charge of your mental wellness has never been easier. It's as simple as signing up for BetterHelp. BetterHelp is your gateway to a network of licensed professional therapists with a broad range of expertise, all dedicated to helping you on your mental health journey. Whether you're struggling with stress, anxiety, depression, or you just need someone to talk to, BetterHelp has you covered. Plus, getting started is really easy. Simply provide a few details about your needs and preferences, and you'll be matched with a licensed therapist, often within 48 hours. The therapist they pick for you will already have experience in dealing with whatever it is you're going through. Every single one of their therapists is licensed, has a master's or doctorate degree, and has spent over 3 years and 1,000 hours working with people just like you. Visit BetterHelp.com/bestoverfood or choose Best Ever Food Review Show during sign up for a special discount on your first month of therapy. Also, BetterHelp is so committed to finding you great therapeutic matches that they will let you change your therapist if needed. So let's do it. Visit BetterHelp.com/bestoverfood and take your first step today. Now, back to the show.
Go.
Cheers.
Oh my God.
Yeah. That's nice. You took the whole thing down. It's a 2-biter. If a shrimp requires 2 bites, it's basically a lobster at that point.
It does taste more similar to a lobster than a shrimp as far as the texture goes.
It's got a nice springy texture to it, super meaty. It's absolutely slathered in that sauce. It tastes faintly like a chili sauce mixed with a ketchup.
It's like a Cambodian sriracha. It's a little bit sweeter. It has a mild chili flavor.
But not really spicy.
No, not spicy at all.
It's certainly not a preparation I've seen anywhere else in Southeast Asia. This is very big, very plump, and very satisfying. But our other dish, the oysters. Now, ordinarily, I'm very excited to eat oysters. These I'm not super excited to try. I will tell you why soon. But first, let's talk about prices.
Now you might be wondering how P makes a living if she's selling scrumptious dishes like this for just $1. It all comes down to volume and speed. Customers present the seafood, and she works quickly to crank out a meal. Rinse and repeat up to several dozen times per day.
So each day she makes about 30 meals on app. So each day she makes about $30.
Well, we're about to get one more on the books. Let's do it.
As a side dish, how about something a little more daring?
Oysters are, you have to be careful. They have to be kept at not room temp. Here, they clean it off in warm water, put it in a plastic bag, then let it sit in the ambient heat, which is about 90 degrees. A lot of people eat these raw.
Yes, I had some last night.
That's like playing Russian roulette with your guts.
You only live once.
And you only die once as well. These have been grilled for safety reasons. And then they put some stuff inside.
Basically, when they grill it, they baste it with tuktaray kokong, which is basically fish sauce, vinegar, sugar, garlic, and chili peppers. And then they top it with some fried shallots.
Oh, that sounds great. Should we try some? Cheers.
Right.
It tastes delicious. It's super savory. You can taste that fish sauce immediately, and then you get the amazing smell, texture, and taste of those fried shallots. It's like the best way to spice up your meal.
Honestly, I could eat a whole tray of these myself. Like, I love oysters. For me, it's the tuktaray kokong. That combination is very Cambodian. I haven't seen that sauce anywhere else, really. It just reminds me of like Cambodian seafood.
This was a great start to the day, but from here, we're gonna actually try to find the most premium seafood that they have in Kep. This is awesome. There must be 200 crabs in here. And after that, we're gonna find the most expensive chef and compare their food to this. But first, we have to get ourselves some crabs.
Just 100 yards away from the crab market, you'll find the pier from which the market sources most of its seafood.
It's still early enough in the morning that we get to see when the fishermen come in and offload their catch for the day. A lot of that includes fish, but it also includes the specialty of this region. I'm talking about the blue crab.
Each day, a fishing boat may reel in 20 to 30 pounds of blue crab, adding to the collective daily harvest of 5 tons along the entire Cambodian coastline. That is a lot of crab.
Around this time, the fishermen, they go out, they set their traps, and then early in the morning, they'll come back with the traps full of crabs, and then she comes. These ladies act as the salespeople for the wholesalers that come from the market. She works with one specific boat.
She must have a trusted relationship with that boat. They know how much crab they bring. She tries to sell them for the best price, and they kind of work together hand in hand.
That's exactly right.
What's interesting about this place is the fish, the seafood, it all comes in here before it heads to the nearby market, where we already were this morning. So if you take the extra work to come here, you can cut off all the people at the market and get the best dibs on the best quality product. That's what we plan to do today as well. Right here we have the famous Cambodian blue crabs.
These crustaceans are widely found in the Indo-Pacific Ocean, typically feeding on small fish and bivalves. However, in Kep, they feed on a particular seaweed, resulting in a meat so exceptionally sweet that even Phnom Penh residents are willing to journey 3 hours all the way here just for a bite.
What is the most prized part of the crab? What are people after here?
There's actually ones that have eggs that are more delicious.
Oh, I did see some of these had eggs on them. Let go of your friend. He ripped his friend's leg off. That's gonna be a discounted crab. So this is the most prized part of the crab right here. The males have more meat, but only the females have these big dollops of eggs.
That's right.
Ma'am, I would like to buy some of these crabs from you, and then I'm gonna take them to the most expensive chef I can find in Kep, and he's gonna cook them up. But first, we need some seasoning.
Let me guess, Kampat peppercorns.
Bingo.
Blue crab and Kampot pepper are a legendary duo along the southern coast of Cambodia. But the Kampot pepper alone is cherished by chefs all around the world. In fact, it's known as the champagne of pepper. But seriously, it's pepper. Could it really be that good? Well, we're about to find out at a pepper farm known as La Plantation. Here you can see tall pepper vines sprouting fragrant peppercorns. 300 employees. 20,000 pepper vines, 27 tons of annual product. These are the numbers earned by the owners, French-Belgian couple Natalie and Guy, after 13 years of operation.
Then in 2010, we got a PGI. PGI is Protected Geographical Indication. It's like champagne or camembert. You have to prove that it's a unique product that you can recognize among any product. And this marks, a special terroir for compote pepper because of the climate, because of the soil, and the sea is quite near from our plantation. When you will taste it, you will recognize that it's quite unique aromas.
Can we try some out?
Yeah.
How's this? Is it ripe enough?
This one is quite young, but taste it, you will see it's full of flavor.
Oh, it has a little bit of a peppery scent, even though it's just in its raw ball form. It's not ground or anything. Let's try it out. Oh, wow. Crunchy. I was not expecting that.
Yeah, because now it's still young, so the kernel inside, it's not totally formed. That's why it's very crunchy.
It tastes a little more grassy, but it's got that background pepper taste.
Wow.
It's kind of powerful. It's right in the back of the tongue.
I don't have the vocabulary for pepper. I'm sure there's like a whole set of vocabulary just for pepper, but I can say that it has, yeah, maybe a bit like that. Like I can taste it up through my nose.
Kind of like that wasabi sting.
Yeah, it goes just beyond like a mouth taste.
Compote pepper is prized for its complex flavor profile, which features hints of eucalyptus, citrus, and mint. Depending on the processing method, these green peppercorns can become black, white, or red, resulting in distinct tastes and smells.
The question is, which pepper should we be using with the crab?
This one, the one you just tasted, the green one. This one will pair perfectly with Cape crab.
Let's get that.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Chef?
Yes.
Put her there.
Thank you. Welcome to Cape West.
Meet the most expensive chef in Kep. His name is Sok Hang.
We've been out hitting the countryside, getting you some fresh ingredients. Yeah. Take a look at these. We were speaking to the woman who worked at the boat pier.
He says that the ones that have eggs that are more delicious.
These eggs, not good quality. Make it heavy for their seller. They make you upgrade.
They can charge more, They can charge more.
A blue crab in this state, often referred to as a sponge crab, indicates she's nearing the end of pregnancy. By this time, her energy and nutrients have been diverted toward egg production, resulting in meat that is less flavorful and mushier compared to that of non-pregnant crabs.
It's like a sponge. Yeah. It's full of water. Yeah. It increases the mass, and then they can sell this for more money?
Yeah. A meal made of these spongy crabs is destined to be a complete disaster.
Would you give this to your guests here?
No.
No.
Never.
That is, unless you're hiring Kep's most expensive seafood specialist. Then the chances of calamity drop by at least 20%.
To hire you for a day to be a private chef, how much would that cost?
Maybe I charge you 180.
I think that's reasonable.
Yeah.
But it's 180 times the price of the other lady.
It's a lot different than $1.
I'm not saying you're not worth it.
Yeah.
I'm saying, let's find out.
Our $180 chef is cooking up 2 dishes, one with the sponge crab and another, better dish with the few good crabs that happen to be tossed in with the lot. Unlike the sponge crab, these female blue crabs still have eggs inside their apron.
How do I know if she has eggs on the inside?
You put it here, a lot of meat.
Then she's full of eggs.
Egg inside.
Their meat is sweeter and more flavorful, thanks to the nutrients stored in the eggs.
The lady by the boat, slightly less sophisticated when it came to judging eggs in general. I feel like I got bamboozled, a little bit taken advantage of, but I was uneducated, and now I'm slightly educated.
Next, our chef coats the crabs with a mixture of pepper, chicken powder, and flour. While the crab takes time absorbing those flavors, he deep fries a colorful batch of bell peppers, onions, and the compote green peppers. The fried wok says goodbye to the veggies and welcomes the floured crabs. Finally, the veggies and crabs are united under a shower of special Kep West sauce. The final touch of basil and coconut milk, and it's good to go.
I'll be coming up hot for a minute.
So, I want to build up to the eggs inside the head. Shall we start with the leg?
Sonny, I want to show you my technique. I like to pull this guy off. This is what I call the lollipop. This is the best part.
Cheers. Oh my Lord.
That sauce is amazing. It's
That is the best bite, I believe, in the entire crab. That is full of meat, and it's just been kissed by that sauce. The sauce is sticky, it's sweet, it's savory, it has such a wild, complex flavor to it.
I like to take a bite of the pepper before I take my next bite of crab meat.
Okay, yeah.
Give me a mouthful, and I'm going back in.
Man, that's good. The flavor is magnificent. Shamefully, I've never had the guts to just like eat the peppers off the peppercorn. I thought they already did their job of seasoning.
I believe a lot of that strong pepper flavor is lost from the stir frying, so you get a hit of it taking a bite directly.
Here we have the head. This is where we have the internal eggs rather than the external eggs.
So this is about 2-week-old eggs in there.
Cheers.
I can see why these are more desirable.
Very different flavor because those eggs have some oomph. They've got some personality.
A different texture than the meat, obviously.
Fattier texture. It's a bit briny, and it has some real like seafood flavor to it. A slightly fishy taste to it. What do you think about the chef's seasoning?
It's definitely a lot more complex than the $1 chef.
True.
There's a lot more depth.
It didn't come out of just like a generic plastic container that had a bunch of random store-bought sauces mixed together.
Right. It's very reminiscent of Indian curry, maybe because of the coconut milk.
Man, the balance between those fatty, briny eggs and then just the incredible flavors that you've imbued onto the dish. So good.
It's unbelievable.
But then here, you have something you would not typically use or serve to your guests. Here we have the crabs with the eggs on the outside of the body.
The spongy crabs start off with a similar treatment, but they begin to take shape with the chef's special black pepper sauce.
I have the tailbone of the carapace here. It's spongy, it's soft, it's strange. Oh, it's so funky.
Like, you know, like styrofoam.
Yeah, there's a biological kind of a mesh that's holding all the eggs together in one sack. There's no way to even scoop it off. I think you just have to bite it off.
Right?
Huh. So, the texture, terrible.
Yeah, terrible.
Yeah, but the sauce?
The sauce is so good. Oh my, I feel so mixed. I'm torn, I'm conflicted. The flavor is awesome, but then when you bite into it, it's hard to explain. It's almost like very, very thin bones or like very thin shell pieces that you can feel them kind of crunch as you bite down. It's like this weird mesh netting that holds all the eggs in place, and that's what you're trying to chew on. I think the lady down by the boat, unless she has some kind of special recipe, I believe she may have been incorrect.
Definitely.
I always encourage the supplier, the fisherman, don't take it, let it gone and make the baby away.
And that's something I wanted to ask you about. Clearly, when they're bringing in crabs, and many of them are full of eggs, that cannot be good for the sustainability of this profession. You know, when you have a crab with yellow eggs, that means in 6 to 7 days, they're gonna release. If they're darker, it means maybe within about 24 hours, they're gonna release, and those thousands of eggs have the potential to turn into new crabs that could be caught in the future. Are there any laws against keeping this crab?
But in a lot of cases, I believe people don't follow those laws.
Why do you think Cambodians here are not following these rules?
Some people, they need money, and the buyer like us, we don't know, we're going to release the baby soon, so we still buy. Lucky you bought this, nobody see you. Yeah.
Did we just break the law?
Yeah, apparently.
No, we don't know.
I guess one takeaway I have from this trip is going all around the countryside, there are more and more animals that are reducing in numbers, even tarantulas. The populations of tarantulas are dropping because of overhunting. Well, it's because people, they're not thinking about 5 years from now or 10 years from now. They're thinking about today. What is the best strategy to deal with this?
You need the people that are buying it to stop buying it, and also the government to step in as well. We're hopefully able to educate the younger generation that we need to think about the future because there's a lot more potential. But there won't be any potential if we take all the crabs out of the ocean.
If you love Indian food, then you're gonna love our new channel, Best Ever Food India. Subscribe now for weekly videos showcasing the most unique street food from around the country.
This is a type of rum made with compote pepper. Have you had this before?
No.
I've never had it.
Cheers.
Cheers. It's extremely smooth.
It's really smooth.
Do you taste the compote pepper?
Not that much.
No, you don't really taste the pepper.
I feel not pepper. Maybe I ate too much the pepper in the kitchen.
You overdosed on pepper. Can we use any of these?
You can use.
Do you prefer the female or the male?
For me, female.
Hey, me too, bro. Put it up there, yeah. I'm married to a lady. Yeah. Boom, guys, that is the end. Our final video here in Cambodia. Before we go, I want to say a huge thank you to this guy for joining me for 3/5 of this journey.
Thank you.
This is Savvy. Savvy Hugh on YouTube. You can follow his journeys here in Cambodia as he explores food and culture and even more. Otherwise, guys, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Peace. Let's go this way. See this? These stairs? These stairs?
Up the stairs?
These stairs, they don't go anywhere.
They don't.
They just go up.
Just up?
And then you fall off.
That's it? Okay.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Let's
I'm
go.
ready.
You can run. I'll get there eventually.
Yo.
Are you a live streamer, content creator, or anything else?
It's the mod pack called Aether Legacy mod pack.
Program. And on top of that amazing 95.5 subsplit, you also get paid for every single stream that you do. This is about finding creators, recognizing them, and
In this video, we've traveled to Argentina, the land of beef, because today I'm on a mission to try out 3 different restaurants serving steak at 3 different prices. I'm talking very affordable, very expensive, and very medium price. But before we do that, let's back up. So far on this journey here in Argentina, specifically in the city of Buenos Aires, we've learned so much about food and about this country. First of all, they love cheese. Mountains of cheese. Secondly, meat. Yesterday, I went to a beef buffet. I almost got a beef overdose. Make it to the final course, guys. But after a good night's sleep, I'm ready for more beef. This is one of the biggest beef exporters in the world. But domestically, they also love the stuff. And it comes in many different forms, from food that you'll find on the street to food at very high-end restaurants. Today, we're gonna see it all, starting at a very affordable location. Right behind me, our first location. It's not as much of a food truck as it is a food wagon. Actually, right
Minecraft Java Edition.
can you press the other one? Actually, right in front of me here, there is a big lagoon stretching out.
Why don't I find the Aether?
There are walking paths and places to eat like this. Here you can find all kinds of affordable foods, especially sandwiches and hot dogs. Right here we have a nice visual of the menu. At the top here, bondiola. This is a pork sandwich. They also have bife. What's that mean? It means beef. They have choripan, hamburguesa, they have pancho, they have small gas and big gas. And then here we have the lomo. This is what we're after. The core of the lomito sandwich is thinly sliced beef tenderloin, which is grilled or pan-fried and seasoned to perfection. Let's go inside and check it out. Boom, right now I'm in the kitchen with Jessica. See? See. She is our wagon chef for today, and right now she's about to make up some lomo. Let's get into it. It starts inside of this freezer with frozen, nice old big pieces of beef sirloin. That hits the flat top. Next, she's going after the bread. She cuts that in half and throws it on the flat top. She gets some jamon and queso. She cracks 1 egg. Definitely, this truck is not even, I've just discovered. She gives the beef a little bit of a flip. This is starting to look like the perfect hangover sandwich. The only sad thing is I don't have a hangover, but I could get one tomorrow. She gives the egg a little bit of a flip, and she throws some queso on top. Then jamon, the pork uniting with the beef, teaming up, becoming an incredible force. She gives the ham and cheese and egg a slice. Now she takes the bread. She piles the beef on top. More beef, more beef, more beef. And the beef is done. From here, ham, cheese, and egg. Top it with another bun, and that, Jessica, is ready to go. Muchas gracias.
A vos, muchas gracias. Ahí le puedes poner lo que vos quieras.
Okay. Boom! Guys, let's talk about this sandwich. It's actually heavy. You can see some of the cheese pull coming here. This big old long sandwich, I don't know, about, why did I put it there? 10 inches? My foot is 12 inches. Yeah, 10 inches. All this right here, $5. Wonderful value. You can see all along here, there's different sauces and condiments. We'll get into that shortly. I'm gonna try it out naked at first. I can say the steak is a little bit dry. The baguette is the right combination of chewy and soft, and there's just so much meat inside. The only thing that's lacking is a little bit of flavor. So that's where this stuff comes in. First of all, this is the national salsa of Argentina. It's called brioche. This one looks like it has bits of onion, bell pepper, vinegar, oil. I'm gonna apply that now to my sandwich. Try it out. A little bit sour, a little bit fresh from the bell pepper, and a little bit of kick from the onion. It's a nice combination. But they have one other unique condiment here. This is called gall. This is a combination of ketchup and mayonnaise. If your beef is a little dry, this is what you're looking for. Let's put some of that on here. Cheers. That's exactly what it needed. This is an excellent start to the day. But next, we're going to a place even more expensive than this, where they're not serving sirloin. No, they're serving some very unusual cuts of the cow. Heck, you didn't even know that they existed. We're headed there now. Right here, we've come to our second location. This is a restaurant known as Fervor. This is a renowned restaurant in Buenos Aires, celebrated for its dedication to Argentinian culinary traditions, particularly its focus on grilled meats, or asados, which are a cornerstone of Argentinian cuisine. Today, at this restaurant, we're gonna be eating something called thymus. I wouldn't even call it a protein, really. It's more of an organ on a cow. Not even a cow, a calf. In just a moment, I'm gonna be headed inside to learn more about this unique dish. Let's move. Wow, busy in here. All right, we're making our way back to the parrilla, the traditional Argentinian grill. Right here, this is the food that we're after, the thymus. It looks like a cooked chicken breast, actually. But in fact, that is the organ that helps with the immune system of the cow. In this case, did not help enough, because we got it. Now, this isn't completely raw. So far, it's been cooked or steamed for about 20 minutes, and then they're gonna finish it over here on the grill. A steel grate with tons and tons of charcoal underneath. It is insanely warm right here. And then in here, the opposite of a refrigerator. This is housing all the charcoal inside that continuously gets spread under the grill. Oh my Lord, it's like a blazing inferno. That's where you go if you don't accept Jesus into your heart, or so they say. And then here, when they need to put more charcoal, he reaches over with this rake. He pulls the charcoal down, and then he can just put the grill back into place very quickly. Boom, it's ready to go. Awesome. So right now he's taking the thymus and he's cutting it exactly in half, and you can see that tissue inside. Pure white. It almost looks kind of fatty at this point, like lard. We're gonna follow that over to the grill. He places it on top and he hits it with a little bit of salt. He's just put the grill back up. He's raking the coals out even more. He really wants that thymus to sizzle, I meant.
At this point, the thymus, locally known as mojeja, will be left to roast on the parrilla for about 10 minutes until it turns golden brown on each side. In the meantime, I've got questions. Questions like,
what is mojeja?
La mojeja comes from the gland. It is a delicacy that has an appetizer. It's nice and sweet and tender and really good to have with a grill.
If you were a cow, can you point to your mojeja? Ah.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. I see. It's by the heart, it sounds like. Why do you think people appreciate this dish in Argentina when other countries might just discard it completely?
He's saying that some foreigners are a little bit scared of it, and what they try to do here is to introduce them to this special type of cut so that they start to appreciate it and find it's a delicious flavor from an unexpected place, thing of a cow.
Excelente. I'm very excited to try out this thymus. Let's do this. Muchas gracias. Oh, can I drink that beer? Oh, what? What's happening? It was a joke. Cheers.
Yeah.
Salud. I manifested this beer. All right, folks, we have our second most expensive beef meal of the day with a part of the cow you don't see at many steakhouses, the thymus. It looked like a chicken breast before they cooked it. Now it's looking a little bit more beefy. There's some char on there, and it looks a little bit crispy too. When I saw them prepping this, I thought, oh, it's a little bit straightforward. There's not levels or layers to it, so why not give it a little bit of a friend? Right here, it's grilling cheese. It's liquid beef, and then they turn it to solid beef. We all learned something new today. Let's dig into this. Oh my Lord. The texture on the outside is so crispy. You can see it's more gooey, cheesy on the inside. Try it out. That's really good. The cheese is amazing. The only problem is he hit it with so much salt, I feel like I'm gonna retain water for a week. The first thing you notice when you bite down is the crisp, this whole outer layer. He's created a shell from being over that intensely hot charcoal. I gotta tell you, this way better than microwaving cheese. I know, a lot of revelations so far today. Moving from the cheese over to our solid state beef. You can see it's kind of crispified on the outside. On the inside, slightly pink still, and it seems there is still some beefy juices going on there. Let's go for it. What? ¿Cómo está? ¿Por qué? Huh, what even is that? It's a gland, but it's not really a protein, but it might have protein, but it's not fat. It's body tissue, it has a purpose. The inside's more soft, steamy, squishy. It's almost like a beefy pate inside of there. A hint of gaminess from the organs, but it has a sophisticated complexity. I would try to explain it to you, but it's probably too complicated. Do I sound smart yet? My biggest question when I discovered this is what I was going to be trying today is why are people eating this and where does this tradition come from? Then I looked it up on the internet. Senor Internet says it is highly valued for its rich, tender texture and unique flavor. It's hard to pin down exactly what that is. You know what it tastes like? It tastes like thymus. Is that helping anybody? I don't think it is. This reduces waste and it shows respect for the food source, especially when you cut it out of a calf. Got you there, Internet. This, I'm telling you, for $21, this is not a small amount of thymus. There's enough thymus here that you can share it with your significant other. Something happened. All in all, do I think it's worth trying? I do. From here, we're headed to the most expensive Argentinian barbecue restaurant we could find in this city. And the prices may shock you. Let's move. All right, folks, we have come to our final and most expensive location of the day. Behind me, Fogón Asado Experience. Asado. It is so famous in this country. And we've seen it at all different levels, from the very affordable to the very medium to this place. This place is elevating asado to the highest level possible. It is 10 courses over about 2.5 hours. I'm not just dining by myself or with my wife. wife, we are dining with about 35 other people who are coming here at the same time. In just a moment, we're going to step through these doors and see what this asado experience is all about. Also, please note, it's very dark, so use your imagination. Welcome to Fogon. You can see as the guests are arriving and they're talking to some of the chefs, the whole big giant table or counter goes around the central cooking area. Inside here, they have a massive fire going already, and that's where a lot of the cooking is going to be happening there. They've already put some of the meats here out for display. Boom, check it out. They're unleashing the charcoal, getting it ready to cook some meat.
Asado at its core is simple: charcoal, a steel grate, and meat. So how does this place turn that simplicity into a high-end experience? To learn more, I'm speaking with Danielle Genster, one of the owners of Fogon.
An asado usually will last 3 to 4 hours. It's friends and family around a fire pit, enjoying lots of different cuts of meat. So to elevate that experience, we've created a 10-course menu that tries to portray each different cut and specialty that an Argentine asado would include, but bring in some local ingredients and some creative cooking techniques that are unexpected. You'll be seeing all of the cooking in front of you by our trained chefs, and they will be explaining each cut and how they prepared it. So it's a live fireside dining experience.
So far today, we've had very affordable and very medium-priced beef. This is going to be our most extravagant beef expense of the day. Can you talk to me about the price?
Our 10-course tasting menu is offered at $80 per person. This includes a welcome cocktail, it includes coffee as well, and we offer our wine pairings separately. If guests want a refill, we happily offer that.
All right, folks, we've just sat down. This place is wild. There is so much attentive one-on-one service. Right now, everyone's having their introductory drinks. They're getting introduced to the food. They're settling in, and soon the 10-course menu is about to begin. All right, folks, the meal has officially begun. They brought us 3 courses now, starting with Caesar vegetable, which was an eggplant with ricotta cheese and French herbs. Then we had an iron provolone cheese, more cheese on the grill. And then right here, we have the same thing that we had for lunch, mocheja. This is the thymus of the calf. Holy shit. I mean, holy cow. A very different experience. Almost caramelized, super crispy on the outside, soft, delicate on the inside, and a delicious sauce on top, slightly citrusy. Love it. So our last course was morcilla, a little bit of blood sausage on a piece of bread, and then also some chorizo on a piece of bread. Right now we have soul braised asado pachiote. Now this is a gigantic beef rib, and we just saw a woman in front of us actually remove the bone and cut it up into several pieces. It looks amazing. Let's try it out. Oh my God, that is the elevated experience I was looking for. It's super tender, juicy, but different than something like Texas barbecue. It's more held together. Since this is aged meat, I could taste a little bit of funkiness in there too, but I liked it. It's like smelling your own armpit at the end of the day. Love it.
For course number 6, we're served a pork flank steak with yellow chili sauce, lime, and a cilantro salad. From here, I've been invited into the kitchen to see the preparation of our 7th course.
Hola. Oh my Lord, what is this?
This is the ribeye.
This is the ribeye that they're slicing up. It looks amazing. Oh, very bony. He's got a tweezers on here. This is what I use to pluck my nose hairs. Something about that size. Oh my, will you take a look at that? It's just so pure and ready. From here, it goes on top. The meat is resting right now atop of all this charcoal, and they don't want it to leak too much myoglobin. So it's gonna stay there until they cut it in front of us at the table. It looks amazing. All right, folks, the big crescendo to our finale has begun. We have 2 ribeye dishes. Here we have the pine cone smoked ribeye cap with a little bit of creamy cauliflower puree and flame roasted corn. Cheers. Oh, it almost tastes like an andouille sausage. It's so purely, deeply smoky. That is an absolutely delicious, unique take on asado. We only have 1 more beefy course to go after this. All right, folks, this is the ribeye. That's it, ribeye. No Spanish, no cultural exchange. Right here we have some onion and potato that looks like it's been caramelized beautifully. A little bit of a puree, but this is what we care about right here. That's our beef. I'm gonna cut a chunk of this. It's just a deep scarlet red in the center. It looks beautiful. Oh man, man. I should have taken a smaller bite, but that is so good. The fact that it's aged meat, it kind of makes the meat a little bit more dense. You know, yesterday we went to the asado buffet. They had piles and piles of meat being put on the grill. 3 guys cooking hundreds of pounds of beef for hundreds of people. Here, we have about 1 staff for every 4 people dining here. So they have a much more attention to detail and a very meticulous asado menu. This, as a final course, absolutely delicious and worth every single peso.
Right after my last dish, the staff kindly offered us even more beef. And to cap off this perfect experience, a delicious and sizzling dessert.
In this video, we set out to try 3 different types of beef at 3 different price points here in Argentina. This is a country that loves beef. They grow beef, they pet the beef, they cook the beef, they eat the beef. And I did some of that today too. Before we go, I want to tell you which beef experience I thought gave me the most bang for my buck. Now, we had the sandwich, pretty good for $5. We had marshihe. We had thymus. Interesting, a peculiar organ that seems like we probably shouldn't be eating it. But actually, the thymus, so much more popular around Buenos Aires in Argentina than I ever expected. For me, my favorite, absolute biggest bang for my buck today was the asado experience at Fogon. $80 for a 10-course meal. Now, to be fair, one of those courses is coffee. I call that cheating. But 9 of those courses is other stuff, mainly food. For $80, we got to try so much different premium, high-quality beef. We got to have a kind of a show, an experience, an education in beef, everything, all of those elements tied into one. So that, for me, is my biggest bang for my buck. Also, I do want to say a big thank you to Locify for helping us with this video. Locify offers customized private walking tours led by over 5,000 passionate locals in more than 300 cities around the world. If you are looking to have an authentic approach to tours, like a friend showing you around a unique non-touristic place, giving you dope knowledge about that city, then try booking with Locify. Otherwise, guys, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Peace. All right, that is a wrap. But in the next video, we're going to be staying the night in this mansion. Not clickbait.
If you love Indian food, then you're gonna love our new channel, Best Ever Food India. Subscribe now for weekly videos, showcasing the most unique street food from around the country.
Welcome to Arc Nights, where art meets adventure. In Arc Nights, each operator boasts a unique artistic design that presents breathtaking visuals and stunning graphics, vividly bringing the world of Terra to life. Download Arc Nights now, and not only will you have an unforgettable visual experience, but you'll also receive a free 10 roll with a guaranteed 6-star operator. Arc Nights, where art meets adventure. Join us today, Doctor. Let's fight for the dawn.
At Public Mobile, you can activate a new plan in minutes. Anytime, from anywhere. That's the beauty of subscription. 5G subscription phone plans from Public Mobile. Different is calling.
Before coming to Lebanon, I was in Ethiopia, and in Ethiopia, I ate raw liver 3 times. And my favorite thing about leaving Ethiopia was the thought that I don't have to eat raw liver again for a while. And here it is.
Beirut, the vibrant capital of Lebanon, a nation with a massive PR crisis. From a devastating civil war to a financial crisis caused by governmental mismanagement, Lebanese citizens have been through a lot.
It's a region of the world that has a lot of conflict because of the history it has, and even religions are born here. I actually even fled at one point.
In 2020, they saw their currency devalued by nearly 97%.
Inflation has driven the country's currency to historical lows.
Followed by the global pandemic.
Banking restrictions are pushing the healthcare system to the brink of collapse.
Then the tragic Beirut explosion, which instantly claimed countless lives and ravaged the city. Lebanon is a country that knows struggle, but it's also a country of survivors. Tough cookies. Your breakdown is there Tuesday afternoon. So when more bad news piles on, why not have a smoke, pour a drink, and sit back with some world-renowned food?
All of these are appetizers.
I'm definitely appetized.
For me, coming to Beirut for the first time, I'm on a mission to understand Lebanese culture and food from folks who are damn passionate about cooking.
Wow. She's happy because you're happy.
Though its population is only about 6.5 million, with a quarter of those being Syrian, Lebanon has had an outsized impact on the world of food.
Lebanese foods, with the little ingredients we have, we make the most out of it. So I think in terms of taste, it's one of the best in the world, and I'm not being biased.
Here, recipes go back beyond memory, beyond generations.
The place here is about
about 200 years old. His father was working here, and his grandfather and his grandfather.
And in a country that can be traversed in just a couple hours, there's no excuse not to see it all. There's the street food in the big cities, Beirut and Tripoli. Piles of succulent proteins
like little discs of meat
and revolving meat towers.
It looks like a giant red Filipino sausage. What is that?
Attracting the late night drinking crowd in a country where boozing is not only permitted, it's encouraged.
Have you ever heard of potentially someone drinking too much and then eating one of these at the end of the night?
Obviously.
From Beirut, just an hour's drive will bring you to the highlands, where young innocent sheep are transformed into an array of Middle Eastern delicacies, both delicious.
This looks incredible.
And also daring.
On the table right now, we have the two organs that every man uses to make every decision in his life: the brain and the testicles.
Then there's the seafood. Lebanon, a country with 140 miles of coastline on the Mediterranean, has some of the most captivating seafood dishes in the world.
This is probably one of the most beautiful sea urchins I've ever seen.
Whether they're cooking up the most venomous fish in the ocean.
Have you ever been stabbed by one of these fish?
This finger was totally black.
Or gathering sea snails by hand and steaming them with spices that'll put you in a state of ecstasy.
Collecting the snails does require a degree of skill and patience. Oh, mine's stuck in there.
Passion for food here means creators, people with a voice sharing their culture with the world.
You must show how cooking is a nice thing, is a feeling, is much more than just a dish or a meal.
Like a beer, isolated in the far-off reaches of the countryside, who in just a couple years has garnered 20 million plus followers, an audience eager to challenge their concept of what makes an amazing meal.
Cooking food like this is what put you on the map, but what is the downside of that?
But you can't talk about Lebanon without talking about Syria. Over 25% of the population here consists of Syrians. Many arrived here after fleeing their homes during the Syrian civil war, and many ended up in places like this, a Syrian refugee camp.
When you came here 10 years ago, did you ever imagine you would be here this long?
Wow. When they first came here, they thought they were going to stay 2 months, and they left everything back home.
Oh, no.
A respite from the violence of their homeland, but a new environment with new daily challenges.
They get every month $25 for 8 people.
They make the most out of their difficult living conditions and lack of resources, still creating moments of brilliance during special occasions.
This might be some of the best food I've had in Lebanon.
Yo, controversial!
The people of Lebanon are tough, bold, and outspoken.
The government pulled off a Ponzi scheme on us. It's corruption, if you will.
Like many of us around the world, their day-to-day lives are in the hands of elected officials.
My salary is 700, 800. Now my salary 100.
But their day-to-day mood and actions illuminate a pride in a country that's just a few steps away from realizing its full potential.
Do you see a future for your daughter in Lebanon?
Yeah, I see a future for her here in Lebanon.
Lebanon, a Middle Eastern country known for conflict, is one of the most open, liberal, outgoing places in the world, with foods that will amaze you. It all starts here in Tripoli.
Here's how I know this is a good place. First of all, you go outside, there's a huge group, a throng of people waiting for fresh bread to come out. Secondly, the guy baking the bread is smoking a cigarette. That's how I know this is the real, authentic place. Sir?
Meet master bread maker and owner of this bakery, Mr. Abdel Nasur Al-Masri.
I know you're very busy. How much of your time can we take?
5 minutes.
We got 5 minutes. Oh my God. Okay, where do I start? We are in this market. This market is wild. It's incredibly busy. There's so many vegetables, produce, fruits. All the local food is here.
Souk. It's a word that rolls off the tongues of locals to describe a marketplace like this. It thrives in open air, nestled within a complex of streets, a repository of life's necessities waiting to be discovered.
How long have you been in this market?
The place here is about 200 years old, but he has been in the market here for 60 years. In this place, they are very famous for manouche. It's one of the most popular breakfasts in Lebanon.
Manouche. It's like a Lebanese version of a pizza, consisting of flatbread and toppings. But instead of cheese and meat, the manouche is crowned with its own unique za'atar, a local spice blend crafted from thyme, black and white sesame seeds, and olive oil.
The visuals in here are incredible. It's like a well-oiled factory. They put the dough in here, it spits out these dough balls, they flatten it, you put some sauce onto the dough, and then they throw it into the oven. Oh, here we go. He gives me a whole board of bread right here. Oh, wow. It's such a thick sauce, and you can see all the seeds inside. There's sesame seeds.
We can fold it like this.
Does he still want bread? He's been in this factory for 60 years. Oh, yes, just like the very first time.
It's very warm.
That is the only way to eat it. Fresh out of the oven, it's still soft, and what an amazing taste.
In Lebanon, we say, ما بيضحك لرغيف السخن. Means grumpy people do not smile for fresh bread, because really fresh bread can make you smile.
Joining me today, Layal. She's a Lebanese architect, local guide, and food blogger, displaying her passion for cuisine on Instagram and TikTok for a global audience.
That first bite was like a crust bite, but this is a pure seasoning right here. It's very delicious. How much bread are you making in a day?
Around 5,000.
5,000?
Yes.
But I'm told the bread is extremely affordable.
It's very cheap. Before the economic crisis in Lebanon, it used to be around 70 cents. Now it's sold for less than 1 cent. That's why you can see all the crowd waiting in line to get this manouche.
The Lebanese economic crisis began to escalate around early 2020.
Has left half the population living below the poverty line.
A crisis that emerged from years of governmental mismanagement and made worse by the COVID pandemic, the Ukrainian conflict, and the tragic explosion in Beirut. Hyperinflation meant that at its peak, the Lebanese pound was decimated at a staggering 97%. For some time, cash became close to worthless.
Are you able to get by selling bread for 1 cent a piece?
He's thanking God for this.
Do you ever think about raising your prices, blaming it on inflation and all that? I mean, that's what they do in the US.
He can't. People wouldn't accept this.
Really?
Because people in Tripoli are very poor.
For better or worse, life goes on. While some businesses have been unable to weather the financial storm, people here remain resilient, continuing to do what they do best.
Sir, put her there. Where am I?
تريبولي طرابلس ملكة الحلويات الزهرية.
الحلويات الزهرية. My Arabic is going to need some work.
It turns out the Arabic name for this place, translated into English, means King of Sweets, a fitting name for this half-century-old confectionery.
Is Lebanon really a dessert culture? There's certain countries you go to, I would say India, where you go there and you see dessert shops and just piles and piles of different colorful, sugary, sweet desserts. Is Lebanon like that?
Yes, definitely. There's around 50 sweet types in this shop.
50?
They are very famous, especially about this halawat al-jibn.
I've never seen any dessert like this. I saw a video of it before I came here, and I looked at it and I said, I have to know what that tastes like. There's cheese, there's semolina, there's clotted cream, there's all these interesting ingredients together. So we have two different sides. What is this?
It's the same halawat al-jibn. This is the skin.
Here's how it's made. Start with baladi, a type of local white cheese, then melt it down in hot water until it reaches a velvety texture. Now, mix it with sugar syrup and semolina, a coarse flour made from durum wheat with a distinct yellow color and slightly gritty texture. The dough comes to life as it's skillfully shaped and kneaded with precision. After some more handiwork, let it rest a bit before the cutting begins.
What is the secret to not screwing this up?
The secret of making halawat al-jibn is that you have to be passionate about it. You have to love it in order to make people enjoy it.
I thought I was enjoying the cheese, but now that he mentions that, I taste the passion too. It's thin, it's sweet, but not too sweet.
It's made of cheese, giving it the sourness.
Yes, it has a great, almost like a slightly chewy texture to it. I like that.
What truly levels up this experience is its filling. Made from a blend of fresh cream, semolina, and just a hint of floral essence. Add even more of this creamy goodness on the outside, and as a final touch, a sprinkle of crushed pistachio.
Oh, he's dousing it. This is a thick, sweet syrup he's got on there. Can you sauce me up? Cheers. You know, clotted cream, it has such a unique texture to it. It's heavy, it's fatty, it's kind of like whipped cream, but even more thick.
Press enter to enable the narrator.
The syrup gives it some sweetness. We have that awesome texture from the skin, and then some nuts in there for a little bit of crunch. That's delicious.
Soon, we'll be diving deep into the heart of this country's heavenly meat factory.
What is that?
Where the patriarch of protein shapes and roasts this country's most coveted dishes.
It looks like a giant red Filipino sausage. Sir?
Right before that, I can't leave Tripoli without trying this peculiar food combination made by the hands of Ahmad.
What is this dish called that you're about to make?
It's majua.
Majua.
Majua, it's like a mixture of kraut because they are putting cheese with semolina and rose water.
I love anything that includes cheese. Definitely one. He slices on the cheese, he puts it on the flat top. He hits that with some rose water underneath, and he turns up the fire. I like how he really gets his hand in there. This is the semolina. Oh wow, so he's really mashing it up. This is just like a giant gooey piece of deliciousness right now. Oh yeah, cheese pochade. That looks delicious. Now, the next step. Douse it in powdered sugar, put it inside the bread, throw down some paper, and that is ready to eat. Wow. Oh man, that is such a confusing experience. It's cheese, it's heavy, but it's sweet. Obviously the outside is very bready. It's like stuffed crust pizza, but the whole thing is a stuffed crust. Where does this come from?
So his grandfather started it in 1930, around 100 years ago.
Ahmad is the third generation in this family business. His grandfather was the first to bring these originally Moroccan recipes to Lebanon. Now, he is a sole practitioner in Tripoli, crafting these two highly sought-after dishes.
This is the famous Mughrabiya sandwich from Tripoli.
How do you say it?
Mughrabiya.
I gotta work on my Alright. This is interesting because it's a carbohydrate bomb. It has like a little balls.
Yes, this is a kind of semolina made like balls mixed with chickpeas, onion, spices, and cinnamon.
I'm used to having cinnamon in things like Christmas cookies, maybe pho. This is my first time having it in this type of a creation. Let's try it out. It's a combination of flavors I've never had before.
The bread just absorbs all the spices.
I agree with that. The bread is very warm and soft and stretchy. Inside, these weird contrasting flavors. I've got a very strong punch of cinnamon, and then there's some really sour pickle in there too.
It makes people completely full because it's all about the carbs.
The more I eat it, the more I'm coming around. It's a very compacting dish, and every bite is a new surprise. So this is my first city in Lebanon. How different is Tripoli from Beirut?
Oh, very Tripoli is more historic. Here you can walk, you can feel how old this city, how was their lives like before here. You see the sculpture, the spirits, and the market, and the crowds, and the works. It's just amazing. But unfortunately, it's not very innovative. Actually, Beirut is more modern now. It has more high colors, it has more birds, and more active nightlife.
Vibrant, charming, like the Miami of the Middle East, Beirut pulses with life and knows how to turn up the heat and keep the good times rolling.
Beirut is the city of contrast, let's say. It's very different in very different ways. You got highs, you got lows, you got very old buildings, very new buildings, you got very conservative people, you got super open-minded people.
Amidst the bustling streets and bustling souls, Beirut offers a culinary journey that's equally unique. Meeting me at Barbar Restaurant, Rob Halou, a Lebanese filmmaker, who's currently documenting his bike trip across the entire continent of Africa.
When you come here, what foods do you crave?
I love falafel. When you eat it fresh, it's crunchy, and you have all this diversity of sauces. I mean, look at this, right?
Falafel is an Arab deep-fried ball made from a mixture of ground chickpeas, onion, garlic, parsley, ground cumin, ground coriander, salt, and pepper.
So what I usually like to do is I cut some bread like that, dunk it into the tahina.
That's a good dunk. You got a little sauce right there.
I'm sorry.
The beer is a magnet for sauce. The falafel alone is like me without the bandana. It can be kind of dry. It's like so oily, but then you mix it with some tomato. You put some tahini in it. The more you add to it, the better it is.
But this isn't why I came here. Upon the fiery stage, a dance of meat, flames, and spices intertwine, resulting in the most iconic, sizzling star of Beirut, the kebab.
Ali, put her there.
Meet the restaurant owner, Ali. His family not only owns this kebab joint, but also this, and this, and this. Literally, the entire block itself.
Tell me about the kebabs here. Because what I noticed is that they have a very unique shape, a shape unlike any other place I've seen.
The kebab is a Levant food. Lebanon, because it's strategically in the middle of these countries, it has taken from all these countries and made it a bit different.
You take the best of all that's what's around.
Yes.
Are your kebabs better than everyone else's?
Let's see, you're the judge of that.
When it comes to kebab, the choice of meats are many. Chicken, beef, lamb, or even this. But here, it's a mixture of beef and lamb. Now, the seasoning. You can keep it light with salt, black pepper, and bell peppers, or you can go all in with local herbs, chopped onion, salt, cumin, and bulgur, a type of cereal made from whole wheat.
Wow, it's like little discs of meat. This seems like it would be easy, but there's no threads on the skewer, and somehow he has to make the meat stick on there. I challenge any of you to try this. The meat will fall off immediately. How long did it take you to get this good?
He learned it in 10 days.
That means for 9 days, you have a skewer with just blobs of meat falling off, and you're like, how do I make it stick? And then on day 10, it's like, oh, like that. Magic. Is it kind of like that?
When the kebab meets the roaring flames, the transformation unfolds, creating a tantalizing outer crust that teases out the meat's natural succulence, while at the same time sealing the juices within.
Right here, we've got some meat. So these are both a mixture of beef and lamb, but they both have different seasonings. I'm gonna try this smaller one with the veggies. Super flavorful, fatty, and savory. The meat really bounces as you eat it. I'm gonna get one of these chilies.
It's addictive. When you start, you can't finish.
Chili is super spicy. Meanwhile, we have nothing to drink. Here we have these big discs of meat. Oh, you're gonna do 2-in-1. I like it, 2-in-1. We have kind of an herb salad here.
We can also dunk. There's no rules.
Oh yes, I love dunking. Cheers.
Cheers.
Wow, that's delicious. One thing that's remarkable about Lebanon is it's a small country with a pretty small population.
Approximately 6 million, and 1/4 of it is refugees, actually.
And so among that small number of people, Lebanese cuisine has made a huge impact around the world.
I'll tell you why. Because the diaspora is estimated to be between 14 to 18 million people. When the Lebanese started immigrating abroad, they brought that culture and that richness elsewhere.
So are you telling me there's more Lebanese people outside of Lebanon than inside of Lebanon?
There's almost as many Lebanese people in Brazil than in Lebanon itself. I think Brazil is like 4.5 million. Lebanon is 6 million, including refugees. So it's a pretty crazy fact, right?
Wow, diaspora getting busy out there.
As you know, it's a region of the world that has a lot of conflicts.
Perhaps that's forced people out over the years.
Exactly.
People felt like they didn't have any other options.
Exactly. So yeah, it's part of us. You know, Lebanon, it's a love and hate relationship. You can ask any Lebanese person, they're going to be like, I love it and I want to go back, but sometimes the instability is too much for me, you know?
Yeah.
It's a love and hate, yeah.
Well, listen, this is just our start. We're building up to one of the most iconic foods in all of Beirut. That is next. Save some room, but you do have to eat all of this or people on the internet will get mad at you.
Oh, sad. As the evening sun dips below the horizon, a sense of anticipation fills the air in Beirut. Streams of people begin to gather on the streets, drawn by an irresistible temptation. This is shawarma. It's meat slowly roasted on its spindle. But at this joint,
this place is full of energy.
They're serving a special meat tower, the same shade as Clifford the big red dog.
It looks awesome. It's like uniform in shape. It's a perfect cylinder of meat. What is that?
This is an Armenian sutur.
A type of reddish sausage consisting of beef and an array of spices.
It's a secret recipe how we made it.
If it's a secret, is this being made in your bedroom?
No. We have actually a factory.
Its roots can be traced back to Armenia, but this sausage took on a new identity when it found its way to Beirut, transforming into a beloved shawarma.
It looks abundant, it's juicy, it's freshly shaven, pinkish red meat.
Every time I look at this, man, I want to eat.
Oh, you look like you're about to cry. I like it. Cheers.
Cheers, guys. Human?
We don't know yet. Like, this is a secret recipe.
Okay, first of all,
I respect.
At first it reminded me of the seasonings that you would find in the lamb, but the flavors are much more powerful. There's definitely a boatload of cumin in there. It's spicy, it's greasy, it's like heavy in a very satisfying way. It has a great uniform texture. This is fantastic. We are not only here for this, we also want to try the lamb shawarma.
Shawarma is not just a food, but a piece of art constructed layer by layer. This one is made with marinated lamb meat.
How do you balance the fat with the protein?
We have like almost 80% protein, pure meat, almost 20% fat in it.
I'm almost the same ratio.
A shawarma stack can reach about 3 feet in height and weigh anywhere from 50 to 200 pounds or more. When this pillar of protein is ready, they slice it off, then stuff it in a flat bread along with tomato, onion, pickled vegetables, and tahini.
These look so delicious and so plump and juicy. What do you think?
I just want to stop speaking and indulge.
We will very shortly. I like that the meat is literally falling out of the mouth of this shawarma.
You can see the difference between the fat and the protein right here.
Oh, we should take a bite. Let's go for it.
Creamy.
Very creamy. And I taste cinnamon.
I don't remember like tasting the cinnamon coming here usually. You're right. They might have changed their items.
Or maybe you have a more refined palate now.
That's true. Hanging out with you.
Here's what's really different about it to me. The lamb is delicious. It's awesome. The tahini is something that takes getting used to for me because it is so thick. It's really salty. What do you think people in Lebanon like about the tahini? Because it's in many dishes.
I don't even know how to define the taste in terms of vocab. Like it's a very unique taste. I like it because it adds a lot more flavor and also creaminess and moisture.
I respect the creaminess. It's like if you could take a toasted flavor and put it into a cream. So some countries put in the garlic sauce, the white garlic sauce. Some countries, I believe Turkey, did nothing. you had to just dry mouth it. So what do you think? Who does the better shawarma between Lebanon and Turkey?
Do you want the biased answer or the normal answer?
Uh-oh. They're not the same answer?
I'm going to be biased. I'm going to say Lebanon.
I want to talk a little bit about the economic crisis that took place here in Lebanon, and maybe it's still going on to this day. Earlier in this video, when I was in Tripoli, I was with a woman who was explaining that the bread they're making, they used to charge around 70 cents for it, and now they charge less than 1 cent. He's making 5,000 pieces of bread a day. He's not crushing it. Like, this has really destroyed his business in a way, and who knows if it will go on to the next generation.
There's been a horrible inflation, basically. I mean, $1 was 1,500 Lebanese pounds. Now it's more than 100,000 Lebanese pounds.
Whoa.
Yeah, so imagine the people still earning their salary in Lebanese pounds. Horrible, right? And all the jobs are affecting. My own father, like, he can't access a lot of his money that he earned through decades.
It's my worst nightmare. Like, you work your whole life, you save, you save, you save, and then through no fault of your own, it's all taken away from you.
One great thing about Lebanese people is we're very adaptable.
Right.
You can put a Lebanese person anywhere, they'll make the best out of their situation. And even now, right, the country's still functioning, but there's like 4 hours on average of electricity a day. Sometimes it's hard to access water. You know, like basic things like that, but you still find a way, and you don't complain, and you stay resilient. But sometimes if you want things to change in the long term, resilience is not enough.
Well, sometimes it would be nice for resilience not just to be a baseline requirement every day. Like, hey, how about it just works out? How about we get taken care of by our leadership? Has the leadership changed since then?
Some left, some are still around. It's the same thing. All the people that are not happy with the status quo are trying to leave or have either left the country, unfortunately. It's a sad reality. I think maybe 2/3 of my friends in Lebanon are not in Lebanon anymore. They always come back because they love their country so much, but it reached a point where it's almost unbearable to live sometimes here, you know?
Rob?
Tony?
Big pleasure. Thank you.
Super nice to meet you, man.
Just a 1-hour drive will bring you nearly halfway across this narrow country. The mountainous landscape here is home to a completely different way of life than on the coast.
It's a good place for those who want to retire peacefully.
Where farmers make efficient use of their steep, sloping land to create grazing pastures for their cattle.
Oh my God!
Cattle will soon be feasting on.
We have the two organs that every man uses to make every decision in his life.
Most of the people, they don't have the first one.
Today, I'm on a mission to embrace Lebanon's countryside lifestyle.
You don't take it like a shot?
I don't recommend. Don't do like
I'm
this.
so sorry.
Including a full cattle canteen.
Is this common to eat the raw liver from the sheep?
Normal.
It all starts with the most important Lebanese meal of the day.
This looks very different from anything I've seen inside the city.
This is one of the things that you can distinguish the mountains from Beirut.
Here, breakfast begins with a unique ingredient common in mountainous regions, a lamb confit, known as a warma. A warma consists of bits of lamb meat, preserved in lamb fat, cured by being cooked in salt, then stored in a jar for many months.
Before, you know, no electricity, no refrigerator, nothing. They was like this. Then you can keep this ready for 1 year, not spoiled.
Really?
Yes.
They think like that. You don't have to trust, but they used to think this way.
In this traditional Lebanese dish, fresh lamb meat is cooked.
And so how old is this one?
3 months or 4 months.
Yeah.
So we will eat first after half an hour. If nothing goes wrong.
And the hospital, it is close by here.
Then an onslaught of eggs are added and cooked until the different ingredients meld into one delicious chunk of scrambled eggs. Finally, a Lebanese flatbread to marry it all together.
You have to start.
Okay.
Our guest.
Well, thank you. So I just grabbed some of this.
Grab it.
Wow. It's very unique because I've never had eggs that were gamey. It's an intense sheep taste mixed with fluffy eggs. I do like it. It's delicious. How often would you have a breakfast like this?
In the village, you can have it on a daily basis. In Beirut, you have to go to a restaurant, or it should be a kind of activity.
Cornayel is a tranquil mountainside village nearly 4,000 feet above sea level. People from all over the country come here to kick back during the summer. It's also home to our Bridge to Lebanon local producer, Faraz, who also lives with his father, Mr. Wajdi, or maybe his father lives with him. But let's not get lost in the details.
I want to ask a little bit more about Lebanon. I'm still very new here. It's just my second day. I think most people looking at this country might assume, since it's in the Middle East, that it's a Muslim country. But that's not the case. How does it break down here?
It is 50-50, Muslim and Christian. This is the only one country in the Middle East. The president it is Christian, not Muslim.
Lebanon is the most religiously diverse country in the Middle East, officially recognizing 18 different religions within its parliamentary system.
The religion is not indicated. You have the freedom to believe in whatever you want. So you can find a Muslim girl wearing a hijab sitting next to another girl who doesn't wear a hijab. You can find a mosque or a church, and next to it you can find a pub where people go celebrate this nightlife. That's actually one of the main things that made Lebanon special in the Middle East. You are making me speak and you are eating alone, but this is okay.
I know, that's what I do. We have a big day today. We're going to be slaughtering a sheep. We're going to be cooking the entire sheep.
Soon, we'll be trying a meat-heavy traditional meal with offerings that are both delicious and others that are daring.
Do you eat the testicles?
But before that, we need to find a sheep. Here, the sheep and goats feed on natural grasslands, mostly operated by small farmers.
Sir, Wally.
Like Wally.
Yes. This is your goat, right?
Yes, it is my goat.
I thought we were slaughtering a sheep. Why am I standing behind a goat?
Before I meet today's meat,
So you have to close the tip,
I've been volunteered to help
and then you squeeze with the other finger.
Oh, okay. It's like a valve.
produce an ingredient essential to many Lebanese dishes.
Oh my God! Wow! It's real warm.
It is warm. It's 37 degrees.
How prevalent is goat milk in Lebanese cuisine?
It's very prevalent, especially in the mountain here. You would be selling every drop of the milk.
So there's actually not enough goat milk.
There is not enough.
We need more goat milk.
Yes.
I think I'm good. So, do you think there's any more milk in here?
There's a lot more milk.
Can you say it's done?
We emptied it completely.
Can I try this?
Yeah.
Still a little bit warm, a bit goaty. Yeah, it's thick, creamy, fatty. I like it. What do folks here love so much about goat milk?
Medically, it is much healthier. It has better enzymatic content.
Well, you can also make it into a bunch of different stuff. What are these here?
So we start with the milk, pasteurized milk. Then this is drained goat milk, and we call it labne. In this country, maybe 75% of the people, that's their daily morning breakfast.
Can we try the labna?
Yeah, please do.
Break off a piece of bread, scoop up some of the labna with the olive oil. The olive oil is so delicious and fresh. Such a nice counterpart to that thick cream. I thought it would taste goaty or gamey or kind of funky, but just a thick, creamy, delicious flavor.
This is sheb, your basic goat cheese, and it's the one that you can flavor with lots of different herbs.
Wow, it's really unique. Very creamy.